It was a night that baseball fans will remember forever. The kind of performance that only comes once in a generation. Shohei Ohtani didn't just show up for Game 4 of the NLCS, he owned it. From the very first pitch to the last out, Ohtani was a force of nature, rewriting postseason history before our eyes. His 3 home runs and 10 strikeouts on the same night became the ultimate showcase of why he's unlike anyone the sport has ever seen. The atmosphere inside the stadium was electric. Every fan knew they were witnessing something special. Cameras flashed, chants filled the air, and all eyes were fixed on one man. Ohtani stepped up to the plate in the first inning, and with the count full, he unleashed a swing that sent the ball screaming into the night sky. The crowd erupted as the ball cleared the fence with ease, his first home run of the night, and it was only the beginning. As he jogged the bases, his face showed calm confidence, but you could sense the intensity burning within him. He wasn't satisfied with just one big hit. On the mound, he brought that same energy. His fastball was electric, touching 99 miles per hour, while his slider danced away from hitters. Each pitch seemed to have a purpose, and every strikeout added another layer to his masterpiece. By the third inning, Ohtani struck out the side, freezing batters who didn't know what was coming next. His command was surgical. Catchers barely had to move their gloves. It was the kind of pitching dominance that left opposing hitters shaking their heads on their way back to the dugout. Then, in the fourth inning, the crowd once again found itself on its feet. Ohtani crushed another ball, this time to the opposite field. The roar was deafening. Teammates met him at home plate with wide eyes and disbelief. 2 home runs, 6 strikeouts, and still plenty of game left to play. Commentators were struggling to find words. "We've never seen anything like this," one said. "He's rewriting baseball in real time." Even the opposing manager could be seen nodding in respect from the dugout. It wasn't just talent, it was perfection. By the 5th inning, Ohtani continued to dominate from the mound. He painted corners with precision and mixed his pitches like a veteran craftsman. His demeanor never changed, focused, calm, and unstoppable. When he struck out the 10th batter of the night, the stadium scoreboard displayed a stat line that didn't even seem real: 10 strikeouts, 0 walks. But the drama wasn't over. In the 6th, Ohtani came up to bat once again. The pitcher tried to work him inside, maybe jam him, maybe make him uncomfortable. But Ohtani was locked in on another level. The next pitch came, middle in, belt high, and the swing that followed sent the ball soaring 430 feet into the upper deck. His 3rd home run of the night. The dugout exploded in celebration. Players who had seen countless games stood with their hands on their heads, unable to believe what they had just witnessed. Even the opposing fans couldn't help but cheer. You don't often see perfection like that, not in October, not on that stage. Reporters began comparing it instantly to some of the greatest postseason performances in MLB history. Reggie Jackson's 3-homer game in the 1977 World Series. Madison Bumgarner's pitching dominance in 2014. But this was both of those rolled into one. One man doing both, pitching and hitting, at an elite level on the biggest stage. As Ohtani walked back to the dugout, the crowd chanted his name, Shohei. Shohei. It echoed through the night, a chant of admiration and disbelief. It wasn't just the fans, even his teammates were smiling like kids, realizing they were living through a moment that would be replayed for decades. In the dugout, Ohtani stayed humble. He high-fived teammates quietly, sat down, and put on his helmet again. No arrogance, no showmanship, just pure love for the game. That's what made the night even more special. He wasn't trying to make history, he was just doing what he loves most. The cameras caught his every move, the quiet focus between innings, the small nods to his catcher, the deep breaths before delivering another perfect pitch. It was poetry in motion. The combination of strength, precision, and calm under pressure made it one of the greatest two-way performances ever. Social media exploded in real time. Hashtags like #OhtaniUnreal and #GodModeShohei started trending worldwide. Fans across Japan stayed up all night watching the game, some in tears, some shouting at their screens in disbelief. Even American fans, who have seen legends like Babe Ruth, admitted this was something else entirely. Broadcasters began calling it the Ohtani game. Analysts started breaking down his mechanics, trying to explain how a single player could dominate both sides of the game at such an elite level. Some said it was a miracle of athletic evolution. Others simply called it destiny. By the 8th inning, when Ohtani walked off the mound for the final time, every fan stood up. The applause was endless. Even the opposing team tipped their caps. The score didn't matter anymore, everyone knew they had witnessed greatness. After the game, the locker room was buzzing. Reporters surrounded Ohtani, but he smiled modestly, saying, "I just tried to help my team win. That's all. No grand speeches. Just quiet brilliance." His teammates couldn't stop talking about it. One said, "We ran out of words halfway through the game." Another added, "You just sit back and watch history happen." In Japan, news stations interrupted regular programming to show highlights of the game. Fans gathered outside Tokyo Dome just to celebrate. Streets lit up with cheers and chants. Kids held up signs with Ohtani's number, dreaming of one day playing like him. Baseball legends also chimed in. Players from past generations sent messages of respect, calling it the most complete performance in baseball history. Some said it was as if Ohtani had combined the soul of a hitter and the heart of a pitcher into one unstoppable force. Analysts pointed out the mental toughness behind the performance. To hit 3 home runs and strike out 10 batters in the same game requires more than just physical ability, it takes an iron will. Ohtani's ability to stay composed, to manage his energy, and to execute flawlessly under pressure is what separates him from everyone else. Even opposing fans left the stadium smiling. They knew they had been part of something unforgettable. The kind of night where rivalries disappear and pure admiration takes over. When the highlights hit the internet, they went viral instantly. Every angle, every swing, every strikeout replayed in slow motion. The sound of the crowd, the flash of cameras, the look in Ohtani's eyes, it all became part of baseball folklore. Comment sections were filled with disbelief and gratitude. "We'll never see this again," wrote one fan. "Ohtani isn't human," said another. The moment transcended sports. It was art. The next morning, newspapers across the world carried his image on the front page. Headlines called it "Perfection in Motion," "The Night Ohtani Owned Baseball," and "The Greatest Game Ever Played." Even Ohtani's manager admitted in the post-game press conference, "I've never seen anything like that in my life." He's rewriting what's possible. This wasn't just a victory. It was a statement. It was Ohtani showing that baseball still has room for magic, that the human spirit can still break barriers. As analysts continued to replay the footage, the question began to spread everywhere: was this the greatest postseason performance ever? And for many, the answer was yes. The numbers spoke for themselves: 3 home runs, 10 strikeouts, 0 fear. But beyond the stats, it was the story, the aura, the emotion that made it unforgettable. Kids who watched that game will remember it for the rest of their lives. Coaches will use it as motivation for years to come. And fans, they'll talk about that night, the night Shohei Ohtani destroyed Game 4, as the moment baseball reached perfection. And as the stadium lights dimmed and Ohtani walked off the field, a small smile crossed his face. He didn't need to celebrate. He didn't need to prove anything. The world already knew, this was Shohei Ohtani's game, and nobody else's.